Well, if it is more healthcare providers listening to this, it is like you don't need to tell your runners to stop running. And they don't want to hear that. And they actually heal better when you don't do that. So if you can, either partner with a good running coach or educate yourself on the training of actually running and realizing that you can keep someone running so they can be able to heal from their injury, you're going to see your results like tenfold. And this is coming from someone who's done all the manual therapy certifications and courses and all of that. And I'm a true believer in manual therapy, don't get me wrong, but I don't do any now. And my results are actually better in terms of my outcomes with my patients because I have full autonomy, support, control over like what they're doing for training. So blending that aspect with, our PT brain and like injury aspect to me has been like game changing.
Feels like we're doing like a home renovation show with that introduction there. PT Business Blueprint. Duane, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always great to connect with you and chat.
All right. So because I know you outside of the podcast, you've got some different things going on besides just being a practice owner. So give people like the back of the baseball card about Duane and what you do and all the different things that you touch or maybe have touched in the past.
So I guess the short story is really most recently have taken kind of my passion for running and education and just really channeled that toward educating the running community that they don't need to stop running in order to get over a running injury. And I really created a kind of one-on-one coaching program, kind of provide weekly videos, podcast episodes, and really built a holistic kind of healthy runner coaching team that really empowers runners to get stronger, run faster, and enjoy lifelong injury-free running. And I am like super passionate about like anyone can run and that runners should actually be treated differently when recovering from an injury than just Joe Schmo who is not kind of an adult runner. And I'm just honestly like really on a mission to change the traditional thinking that running causes injuries and your body is just not meant to run, or you must take a break in order to get better. So I've definitely learned a lot in my personal running journey. And now I've really kind of combined those passions with my kind of history for, sports medicine, orthopedics, teaching, and really channeled that toward the running community.
Perfect. And then you've also done some teaching and some education.
Yes. Yeah. So was full-time faculty for 8 years. I actually just recently this past spring stepped down from that position in order to really embrace myself full-time in really what I'm most passionate about now, and just being able to have a larger impact and be able to share my experiences, my expertise in this area, not only with a room full of DPT students or a one-on-one patient like in the traditional clinic sense, but the larger, greater running community.
So what's this look like? Is this 100% online? Is there an in-person location? Like what's Spark look like?
Yeah, 100% online. Initially, I did have a in-person location here in Connecticut, and once the pandemic hit, like most things, I really, at the time, I already had a podcast, YouTube channel, and Facebook group, and just kind of, put all the eggs in that basket, so to speak, and, stop really treating patients more on kind of a session to session basis, and then really embraced providing a service and really meeting the runner like where their problem areas are. And I created a solution to be able to overcome, their main challenges.
So you don't actually have to be in person to deliver something that is of value. Who knew? Well, we knew.
Dude, mind blowing.
I know, but the funny part is you were doing it when not many people were doing it, right? Which is like making this change, and people fear change. They're like, that's not going to work. There was I forget one of Adam Sandler's like comedy albums. He did this bit where I think he played like his mom, like this character's mom. And whatever he was saying, she would just yell from off camera or off mic, they're all going to laugh at you. And I can hear that. It's like, they're all going to laugh at you. And they will. First, they're going to laugh at you, and they're going to doubt you, and they're going to mock you. And then when you do the thing, they're going to say that they were there the whole time. That's just how it is. That's just how human nature is. We project our own fears, or other people project their fears onto us if we start doing something a different way, and they'll say you'll never make it that way because someone, if it was going to work, someone would have done it already, which is just really bad thinking. Yeah, somebody would have done it already if that was going to be the way, and then now here you are. So let's talk about this. Like, what is on the menu for Spark Healthy Runner? If someone comes to your website, sees your content, whatever, they fall down that funnel in a good way. They slide down that funnel in a good way. And then they're like, okay, I feel like you're the right person to help me do the things that I want to do. What's like on the menu? Like, what's it look like when someone gets there, and what do they have to choose from?
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of free resources out there, right, to just be able to help anyone in the running community. And that's, again, I'm really passionate about education. So, that's one avenue. But to work with us and our services, my signature kind of Spark Back one-on-one coaching program in which someone works with me, it is really providing a unique service that is integrative in nature, where I'm utilizing my knowledge and experience as a musculoskeletal content expert, running expertise, strength and conditioning, and run coaching. And that's a 16-week program where I'm taking them through like 4 different phases. They're kind of restoring their body back to fundamental running movement patterns, and then they're rebuilding their body. So like the restore phase is like what most PTs do, right? In a traditional PT clinic, you're going to evaluate them, your movement assessment, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, your ankle is, limited mobility, and that's contributing to your plantar fasciitis or your Achilles tendinopathy. So that's kind of like the eval assessment part. And we're really good as PTs at getting people out of pain, right? So I've done that for 21 plus years now and have a lot of experience doing that. I think the part that is missed in most traditional practices is, right, we all hate insurance and all that. And, once someone's out of pain, and quite frankly, the public think once they're out of pain, they're good to go. They could just go back to doing whatever training errors, essentially, which are the most common reasons why runners get injured to begin with. And then they're coming back in your clinic every 6 months. So I really got frustrated with that model, right? And not being able to provide the bridge to get someone to actually running healthy in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. So that's where we kind of rebuild. We go through strength training specific for runners, and I provide that with full sport accountability, and then the retraining part. So using my knowledge and expertise as a running coach, and building plans for thousands of runners at this point, really taking someone through where they're at in their running journey and being able to program their half marathon training plan, or being able to run Philly next weekend of the client that I just met with before, and going over his race day strategy, right? So that's kind of like the retrain portion, and really getting someone to, crush their running goal and do it where they're not getting injured and they're actually having the confidence. And now they got the tools in their toolbox to be able to implement this with future training. So that's the one-on-one program. But then we also have continuity programs for someone who is currently healthy. And maybe they've been out of running for 10 years. They had kids. Now they're getting back into running. And they're like, you know what? I want to get that running part of my life back. But they're like, I'm pretty healthy. I don't have any injuries. I just need some guidance. I don't know where to start. I need the structure. That's where we have a team of coaches that work, under the same kind of philosophy that I work under. And I serve as more kind of the consultant on the team, that if someone does wind up having some IT band pain, during their training, then I can, add that input where the three of us kind of hop on a call and be able to manage the run plan. Maybe we add these 2 exercises, and if someone needs to be referred out, then, hey, I've seen this, before. Let's get you to see a local, running PT in your area. So that's kind of the one-on-one coaching services with someone on our team.
About how many runners are you working with at any given time, like through all these 2 different sort of spheres? Ballpark it for me.
Yeah. So about 60 to 70 through our one-on-one services. And then we also do run like twice a year a group, coaching program, which is more a little bit scaled. And we have Coach Latoya, who's like amazing at that. And we do have a pretty strong presence locally in Connecticut, where we do, once a week group long runs together. And then the latest thing is, because, like my time is limited, right? I'm limited on how many people that I could help one-on-one. And to be able to scale now, have created Healthy Runner Academy, which is a membership option where, we have our 20 founding members going through that right now. And then I'm excited for the full launch of the whole membership site and everything happening in 2025.
Here's a question for you. Do you want to boost your clinic revenue by $290 per patient per quarter? Of course you do. That's rhetorical. Physiotech's remote therapeutic monitoring can help you do that, enhance patient outcomes, ease provider workload, and turbocharge your earnings. Kickstart with RTM at physiotech.ca. That's physiotech.ca. And the thing you interact with the most at your clinic, if you're a therapist, like it or not, is your EMR. MW Therapy's all-in-one outpatient PT EMR gives you seamless integration of patient portals, marketing automations, and billing, all at one unbelievable value. Switching over is a breeze too. Kick the tires, take a test drive at mwtherapy.com. And where is your PT career going? It's not rhetorical, it's literal. Embark on extraordinary patient care adventures with Jackson Therapy Partners. Visit them at jacksontherapy.com. This is perfect for physical therapists eager to make their mark, to do what you want to do, where you want to do it. Discover where your career can take you at jacksontherapy.com.
Who's going through that? People like practitioners, like coaches, PTs, train, like who's going through that?
So this is going to be for really anyone who either has been a client of ours before and they're just like, you know what, I don't feel like I need the one-on-one coaching anymore, or financial reasons they can't do it, but they still want access to me and they still want some structure in how to grow in the 6 steps of growing as a runner, whether it is mindset, strength training, run plan, nutrition, recovery, or race day strategy. So those are really the principles that we cover in there. Or it could be someone who's like, you know what, I really can't make the investment to work with Duane. And you know what, I got a good, local running PT, but I could use his expertise and his coaching team's expertise from like the programming side of things. And you know what, I've been doing the free, Hal Higdon plan off the internet for years, and I'm still getting injured every time I train for a marathon, right? Right. So that person, or someone who's currently working with a one-on-one run coach, and they're like, I love my coach, everything's going great with them, I'm not injured, but I still want to work on how, what are the best mobility exercises for runners? What are the best, strength exercises that I really need to be focusing on? So you're going to get that expertise that has been helpful for, the runners that I've helped throughout my career.
That's great. So it's a digital, like sort of a digital product people can consume and join with.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yours is a different model. So I don't ask this of everybody, but like technology, what sort of things do you utilize? You don't have to go terribly deep, but like, do you use anything like motion capture since you're seeing people from afar? Is there, what do you use? Because I love asking PTs this, because there is the flashy some people will buy anything. PTs are pretty practical. They're like, if I'm going to use it every day, I'll get it. If not, I'm going to use my eyes or I'm going to use the stuff that's just like hammer and nails, man. So what's your hammer and nails technology that you couldn't live without?
Yeah, no, great question. So I don't have any fancy motion capture software or anything to that effect. I have all of my runners, take videos. I give them instructions on how to take videos literally with their phone. They upload them. We're going to analyze their gait and be able to go over like running form, things of that nature. All of like our one-on-one clients, I'm going to take them through a live movement assessment. So it's literally Google Meet that I use just because I use the Google Suite platform for everything. So same as Zoom, essentially. Besides that, that's...
And the reason I wanted to ask that and bring that up is I think a lot of people think that there's a huge technological investment that needs to be made first. You got to jump in with 20 grand versus 20 grand worth of tech. And most of the time it goes unused. Most of the time it really is simple. Like and these cameras on these the newest iPhones, they're pretty baller. Like you're gonna get some really great video. You can have a couple of apps to slow down things, or maybe freeze frame or go back and forth and jog, but you don't need to have a video suite to do that anymore. You've got some off the shelf things that allow you to stop and cut up video.
Yeah, no, you can definitely get started with, literally at the beginning, some of my coaches were using the free version of Zoom, and it's like, it cuts you off at 45 minutes of a call, but then you just hop back on.
Really efficient.
Right? Like you could Yes, you definitely do not need a lot of tech. Like literally, I started my online business using Google Suite. And yes, we use, Final Surge as like a training platform, which is great, in terms
Yep.
of like seeing everyone's training and being able to communicate through there or communicate through WhatsApp. That's what really, honestly, all you need. You don't need anything fancy. And obviously upgrading, if you're creating content, then upgrading, your camera, your microphone, all of that has happened gradually over time. You make the investment, but honestly, it's better to invest in actually a coaching business program to actually grow in your business journey if you're a PT, because we didn't get that, right? We didn't get any of that education. So that would be the best investment versus investing in some fancy software or motion capture system to, be able to see something that you're already assessing with your eyes anyway to get the exact degree. The runner doesn't care, right? If they are not getting
result, man. Don't sell the drill, sell the hole that the drill makes. Sell the hole in the wall. The reason you buy a drill is you want to hang a picture or you want to build a house, whatever. Let me ask you this. 2 of the biggest problems, one of them being patient or client acquisition. How do you go about solving that? What are some ways that people are finding you? You mentioned creating content, which is one great way. I advocate for it. It should not be your only strategy. How are people finding you and making sure that you're finding the right people and that they wind up working with you? Listen, if you're running a PT practice and you're still using old school systems, you're leaving time and you're leaving money on the table. Empower EMR is here to change that. It's an all-in-one, automated and built to streamline your scheduling, billing, and everything else so you can focus on what you do best, helping patients. Don't overthink it. Go to empoweremr.com. That's empoweremr.com. Book a demo and stop letting outdated tech hold you back. All right, PTs, if you're serious about crushing the OCS exam or leveling up your clinical game, Current Concepts of Orthopedic Physical Therapy, 5th edition, is where it's at. This is your one-stop shop for the latest in ortho PT, with expert insights on every joint, real-world case scenarios, and evidence-backed techniques. Don't sleep on this. Go to orthopt.org right now and get a sneak peek and start prepping like a pro. That's orthopt.org. One more time, orthopt.org. Go there.
Yeah, so I have yet to actually do paid advertising. I've done zero paid advertising in growing my business. Initially, it was organic social media, right? And 5 or 6 years ago, Facebook groups, Instagram was pretty much where we got all of our leads.
Wow, good for you.
Then the podcast, took off, and especially like after the pandemic, 100% of my leads were coming from that. And now in the last year, Jimmy, actually, and this is like a good lesson to learn as well, is sometimes things take time, right? And you want to think about creating evergreen content that will still be lasting in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. Like I just actually shot an episode on kind of best running shoes for Achilles tendinopathy. And I did it not, saying the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 is like a really good shoe if you have, because the shoes change every single year. But I taught the 4 principles, the things you could test on a shoe that will hold true, whether it's, 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years from now. So the YouTube channel has actually been a huge driver in leads in this past year, where people are Googling, right? How to get over posterior tibial tendonitis or Achilles tendinopathy. They're finding my videos, finding the content, and then they go down kind of that rabbit hole, and then they wind up hearing about our services and give me a call to work together.
It's wild, isn't it? I mean, I think even just that mindset shift of what is evergreen content mean? It means it's not going to expire. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. It means it's not going to get outdated in a year. And now that's not to say that sometimes you want to create that, right? Because now you could actually create a great video, the best shoes for 2025, because you reviewed the 10 biggest brands and you're saying this is 2025. But the example of the best shoe for posterior, any condition, Achilles tendonitis, that could be evergreen content. It's really it's where you start with that content that can define where it goes. And neither is better nor worse. They're just different tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important to know, because we can get in the trap of chasing fads and or trying to figure out algorithms and find out where the best platform is and this and that. And, whether or not you're doubling down on Reels or you're using ChatGPT or right. Like you can spend so much time trying to like teach yourselves specific principles and trying to chase these fads. But if you really, it boils down to, finding out who your audience is, how you can serve them, speak to their problems, their wishes, right, their frustrations, and offer a solution for that. No matter how you deliver that, if you put it in a way that people are going to be able to find it organically, then, it's going to build. And then obviously for clients who have been through our program, like once they're kind of in the system, right, then, we do find that whether it's working with me and now they're start working with one of our coaches on our team, or, they sign up like the initial 20 founding members, 17 out of 20 of them were previous clients of ours. Right.
Yeah.
So
overserve. We're keeping these episodes under 20 minutes. So I got 3 more questions. One's a parting shot. You've done that before, so I'll be last. One is, what is the thing that was really, how am I going to say this? What was the biggest challenge that you faced so far in doing this business, however you were doing it, and how'd you overcome it? Biggest challenge, how'd you overcome it?
It was, for me, being an old timer PT, right? 20 plus years. It was getting out of the mindset that, I was used to, hey man, I worked over a decade in traditional practice, insurance model. And, I'm not worth that money. I'm not worth asking someone for money. And just getting out of that mindset and shifting it toward seeing the results that I was, getting for people that, this guy, Tim, that I just met with, he's going to run his first marathon in 16 years, like after kids, after losing his mom, like all of these whys, like he's gotten this part of his life back and it's like an active lifestyle now that he loves. So just like being able to change people's lives and realize that that is what you're doing. So, getting out of it, just the mindset shift of, having someone, pay you money to actually provide a service that's going to really be life-changing. That was like the biggest challenge to get over.
Sell the finish line, right? Sell with that feeling. Now, how about let's go to the flip side? That was your biggest challenge. What's been the most rewarding part of your journey doing this business and creating this?
Yeah, it's been, I always like a challenge. So in life, it was like going back to school, getting, academic PhD, whatever challenge it was, and meeting that milestone, like clinically, I was always there. So this has just been really rewarding to really start it from scratch and, build it to where we have 6 team members and that I'm helping to change their lives as well and mentoring them and just being able to have like the impact within the running community, even when I get like messages from people, I'm sure you get it from your podcast, right? From people across the globe that you've never met, but they'll tell you like how much your podcast or, your videos have changed their lives. So just being able to have that larger impact has been super rewarding.
Yeah. Last thing we do on the episode is parting shot. What's just your last, soapbox statement, mic drop moment, quote, something that comes to mind you want to leave with the audience?
Well, if it is more healthcare providers listening to this, it is like, you don't need to tell your runners to stop running, and they don't want to hear that. And they actually heal better when you don't do that. So if you can, either partner with a good running coach or educate yourself on the training of actually running and realizing that you can keep someone running so they can be able to heal from their injury, you're going to see your results like tenfold. And this is coming from someone who's done all the manual therapy certifications and courses and all of that. And I'm a true believer in manual therapy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't do any now. And my results are actually better in terms of my outcomes with my patients because I have full autonomy, support, control over like what they're doing for training. So blending that aspect with, our PT brain and like injury aspect to me has been like game changing.
Love that. All right. Let everybody know where they can find you in case they wanted to pick your brain. Like where would you send a colleague to connect with you?
Yeah, the main website, sparkhealthyrunner.com. We got the Healthy Runner podcast. Someone is a runner, they're interested in running. We got tons of episodes content that they would love there, as well as Spark Healthy Runner YouTube channel.
Love it. Duane, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for jumping in on this PT blueprint thing that I'm trying to do over the next couple of years.
Yeah, man. I love it. Thanks for having me.